Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Avatar Face to Face. This is our television program, a part of the Avatar Media Center. And as you well know, Avatar is a not-for-profit 501c3 art and culture organization designed and created for inclusion of multi-ethnic and multicultural organizations. We have a guest today through one of our collaborations through the Afri culture as we begin to embark on a year-long celebration, a real tribute to the contributions of the Caribbean basin and those countries and that art form that has created quite a stir and interest around the world. And today, our guest is going to be, or is, Antionette Pitkin, who is the artistic director of the Afri Culture Organization. Good afternoon, and how you doing?
Good afternoon, and I'm good.
Okay. Listen, we're going to have a little conversation, and we invite all of you just to kind of listen in and see what we're doing. If there's ever any questions, you can always call us or contact us via our websites, and we'll give you that information as we proceed through the show today. So, Antionette, tell us a little bit about Afri culture, so people know what's going on.
Okay, Afri culture, Afri, colloquial or linguistics for Jamaican patois, meaning it's our culture, was established in 1992. Pretty like the Avatar Foundation, we are for the inclusion and the development and integration of the art form. We have three collectives: visual arts, performing arts, and leadership. Through those collectives, we work along with other organizations and other professional and non-professional artists, okay, in the development of all our programs. We have a dance initiative that this year, actually throughout the last 20 years, we've been collaborating with Valerie McLeod Katz from Medgar Evers College Prep. She's the choreographer for us for dance. Right. We do an integrative dance program, okay, which extends into the school program that we do with kids. And within this dance program, it's really eclectic in that it deals with East and West African dance forms as well as the classics, ballet, modern, and jazz. Okay, Styles Horton, and because we're doing the Caribbean forms, we go into Graham, and we go into various techniques that were developed by the past art historian Professor Nettleford from Jamaica, and also she has passed for a few years now, Ivy Baxter, that was responsible for integrating ballet into the Caribbean folk forms. So we'll be integrating quite a few of those forms in February at BAM, when we launch actually our collaboration with the Avatar Foundation in a presentation that we're doing there. And throughout the year, we'll be doing that with music. I guess the show will be having a few people on, and our conductor for our big band orchestra is Carmen LeBoy, and she'll be here to speak more extensively on that.
Okay, so beyond the dance and the music per se, are there other kind of art forms that you feature? Because we'll get into that collaboration as we go a little further into the show, but speak a little bit more about the other kinds of art forms.
Well, the visual art. Mm-hmm. We are very proud, of our visual arts division, because within our visual arts initiative, we house uh, quite a few of the artists from the Caribbean basin. Over the years, we have collaborated with so many of them and worked with so many of them. They've all become members because we're a non-fee member organization.
Okay. Okay.
You basically just have to have a strong love for the arts and eat it, breathe it, sleep it,
Sure,
and if
sure.
you can do that, you're a member of us.
Okay.
And so with that, within our visual arts section, headed up by an artist by the name of Courtney Morgan from Jamaica. I can't even call the names. In April of 2012, will be, as part of the collaboration that we're doing with the Avatar Foundation, we'll be featuring quite a few of those artists
Okay.
through an exhibition called Carnival.
Okay.
Seeing the Caribbean through the eyes of Carnival, the Caribbean people, their art and culture over the last 50 years through the eyes of Carnival.
Well, that's very interesting, and I think it's important. We've mentioned it a couple of times so far at the beginning of this show, and we might as well go into it. We might as well start talking about number one, the collaboration that Avatar, our foundation, has with your organization, the Alpha Culture, and we've come up with a concept that I think will be extremely interesting to a number of people, both Caribbean and non-Caribbean. And what we have decided to do is to put together a year-long celebration and salute and tribute to the Caribbean basin, but particularly Jamaica and Trinidad, as they celebrate their 50th year of independence. So we put this calendar together, and what was referenced in terms of the dance component is that we have scheduled a date. Actually, it's in March at BAM, because of their calendar. But we intend to launch what is known as Carib Gold. And there's this universal collaboration that's going on. And we can speak a little bit more about the dance component as we kind of leapfrog into what our calendar will be. She mentioned to some degree, Antionette mentioned to some degree, some of the dance folklore and the different disciplines and genres of dance that would be presented. So maybe we can revisit that a little bit now.
Sure.
Since we're there at the Harvey Theater.
Yeah.
The Harvey Theater at Brooklyn Academy of Music.
Some people might know it as the Old Majestic Theater.
Yeah, the Old Majestic, okay.
Theater. Well, we're pretty excited about doing this in that the combination of the classics, using the base modern dance form style Horton. It's the fusion of Horton modern jazz with Graham, with most of the audience might be more familiar with Graham, as we touch on.
Graham must be.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Martha Graham, Catherine Graham, and Dunham. Okay. We're delving a little bit more into the folklore. Some of the terms, I'll use them. We'll be introducing little nuances of what is known as gere and kumina and dinky mini. These are all folkloric forms from Jamaica, indigenous to Jamaica. However, because the Caribbean is so intertwined, the culture, at the base of the culture, rhythmically, it's the merengue. And so as we go back into it, and we go back to Jamaica, to Trinidad, to Barbados, to all of the islands, the French, Dutch, Spanish, it's all basically going back to the merengue. Okay, so you'll find that these forms, as they intermingle, as they intertwine, fundamentally the rhythms really go back to that.
Okay.
So we'll be showing the transition of if you want to say the middle passage. Okay,
Okay,
we'll
yeah.
be kind of creating our own little middle passage, moving from one as we take the culture through. For one, maybe that Sankofa walk, if we want to throw the
So
word
the
out
history of
there.
almost 50
Yeah,
years of
50
the
years through
integration
that.
of the different forms.
But what we find, though, in order for us to do that, we really have to take it back, to take it forward, because to integrate the work, we have to also teach the lineage of the work.
Right.
And because the didactic is to show the connections rather than showing how disconnected we are, to show how interconnected we are. Okay, we're taking it back a little bit and moving it forward. So nuance, whereas we will have nuances of that, we're going to have nuances of Shango, which is indigenous to Trinidad and to Puerto Rico and to Dominica. You know, going into the Maroon culture, you know, people will identify these rhythms, be it you're from Dominica, the Dominican Republics, Haiti, wherever. You will notice that as you go into rhythmically, even whether it is for dance or for music, you'll notice that the rhythms of compa, merengue, going back to the kaiso, which is you know, kaiso now it's soca, kaiso, as we come now into the whole period of calypso, when we come into calypso. Okay, so all those rhythms, what's interesting is that when you take when you fuse all those rhythms together, and you fuse that reggae, that samba, that soca, that compa, you find that there is this really awesome sound that you get, and as you look at traditionally the traditional cultures of, be it Jamaica or Cuba or Trinidad, you'll look at, for instance, with Puerto Rico, you're looking at the old tipica, and you're looking at bachata. Okay, and you see bachata today that is it's very much pulling in that whole reggaeton, Spanish reggae kind of rhythm that's taking over. And so as we look at those rhythms for dance, and we look at the classics, to move it along. Okay, it's a very colorful and a very spirited. It's a very spirited performance that the audience will experience when they do, you know, come to see this.
Well, this is going to be some piece.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to give away the whole secret,
no,
because we really want to kind of spare the interest,
yes.
so that you'll be able to come and support.
As much as I'm saying,
yes,
it's as
still
much
more
as
than
I'm not saying.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing. So we know that in the first quarter of next year, to 2012, we're going to show up at the Harvey Theater at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. BAM, as some may know it, and for the old heads, really kind of the Majestic Theater. That's how we're going to launch it. And what will be happening, today's show is one of a two-part showing, and we'll have an expansion on that in our next segment. But for the next really kind of 20 to 22 shows, we're going to take you through that entire experience of Jamaica Gold, Carib Gold rather, and touch on all of the elements that are part of what we know is known as Carnival. The artistic elements in it, the food that's in it, the colors that are there, the traditions, the whole cultural mix, as you've heard, that we'll be doing in terms of making this presentation. The other element is, as we kind of go through this, in April. In April, we're looking to do a major fine art festival at the Arts Westchester Gallery in White Plains, New York. as we begin to feature some of the Caribbean's brightest and most talented kinds of artists. And let's speak about a couple of those artists that we're looking to attract to this particular exhibit, Antionette. So, coming again out of the Caribbean basin, we're looking at a number of people.
Okay, so Carnival. When we decided to look at visually the visual art
Right.
aspect of Carib Gold, we kind of pontificated about where we would
Right,
take
right.
this and the eyes to which we would kind of look at this, or for our own little viewmaster,
Right.
and I guess we collectively, coming from different angles,
And our missions, our respective missions.
We almost simultaneously came up with the concept of carnival, and I guess there's no irony when the missions are so similar, and our objectives were alike. So
Right.
Carnival was a kind of a no-brainer. And Carnival, let me just say that Carnival was chosen as the theme of the art exhibition because of the representation of Carnival and what Carnival means to people throughout the Caribbean, and not just the Caribbean, globally, for people that are onlookers, or for the people that want to be caught up. What is this whole thing Carnival that gets people in a frenzy,
Right,
that
right.
wants to go to Trinidad in February, and why New York City attracts over, what is it, 125 million people,
they
something
attract
to that. I'm not
a
aware.
million people in
Million
Brooklyn
people
alone.
in
Yeah.
Brooklyn for the West Indian, the largest
Right.
parade in the city in New York, and the city makes tons and tons of money with people flying in, buses, all elements. What we should know about that is that these people, be it Trinidad or Brazil, wherever, they start doing carnival. It is the people that puts together carnival. It has nothing to do with government. It is conceived by the people. They creatively come up with these concepts, for the what is called mass. What
Right.
you see when you go to carnival is the mass that is put together, the band, and all those costumes are put together. So you'll hear the phrase mass that's used. So it's the mass band. So in carnival you have the mass band, and for Trinidad you have the mass band, and you have the pan band. The pan meaning the steel drums. Okay, these guys that are putting these huge mass bands together are artists, and some of them are world-renowned artists. I mean, like Peterman Show. People are familiar with him with the Barcelona Olympics. He designed the opening for the Barcelona Olympics, as well as I think Mexico. He also did Mexico. Known for this. Then he hails from Trinidad, by the way, and we can't speak of Carnival without speaking of an artist by the name of Roy Pierre. He was there at the onset of the West Indian Day Parade, and now he's synonymous with Juve. He's synonymous with Juve morning, and Juve is what happens 12 o'clock when the spirits come out.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right. Yeah.
when the spirits come out. And there's Robert V. Reed, also hails from Trinidad. Totally different forms, phenomenal artist. And of course there's Ascafri, and there's Ascafri from Jamaica that is well known for his forms throughout, and known as one of the artists of this millennium. And there's Paul Blackwood, and Courtney Morgan,
Okay.
which will tell the story of the Trafalgar artist from Jamaica, and just so many of them, and so many forms. And I think it's important that we understand. We know, when you look at it, you say, "Wow!" But these costumes were actually paintings and
Yeah.
concepts that were conceived and scaled to become these mass bands. And I think it's an interesting to see that mass from the conception to the production of the
Okay.
band. And part of our presentation for this, what makes this particular uh, presentation different, is that it brings to the table that, and it brings to the table that experience.
Okay.
So it's the
Okay.
taste you get to experience, not just the colors, but the tastes, the rhythms, and the flavors
Yeah,
of,
the whole
of the
essence of the
Caribbean, the
culture.
essence
Yeah.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah. When you want to know someone, you have to understand their culture.
yeah,
And to understand their culture, you have to realize the essence of that culture.
yeah.
You know. Moving forward in our calendar, we're looking at having a serious presentation of the Caribbean presence at the Juneteenth celebrations. We're working on that with the White Plains Heritage Committee as they prepare for their annual Juneteenth celebration. I should say our, because I work with them as well. Then, kind of moving forward with that, we're looking then in August. Um, we're looking at in August having a couple of things happen. One, we'd like to be able to invite all of you and a number of people from around all of the communities to participate in a day on the water with us through the Spirit of New York. We're developing that particular concept as we speak, and then begin to at the earlier part of that month, and then followed up then by this contribution that Alphawe does each year, and it is then the Jamaican 50.
Jamaica 50.
Yeah,
I think you've got those turned around.
I miss it.
Actually, Jamaica 50 comes before Spirit of New York.
Okay.
Spirit of New
Okay.
York is the latter part of the month. Jamaica 50 will be on the 4th of August, the actual official weekend of independence for Jamaica this year.
Okay.
There are all sorts of events that are being put together, you know, and people should kind of tune in and. You
Yeah.
know, well, we want them to support ours. We're not going to lie that we don't.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean,
But there's a lot going on
there's a
throughout
lot
the
going
city
on
and
throughout
around
the city.
around
Yeah.
the country as well. Yeah. Okay. Then kind of coming from that is the 20th anniversary.
Yeah,
20th anniversary of Alphawe.
and the 10th of Avatar.
And the 10th of Avatar. Yeah, we're like 10 and a half years old. But it's a perfect time to kind of speak freely and openly about how these collaborations work and what these organizations do independently as well as collectively. So it's really important to kind of pay attention to what's happening with both of these organizations. And we're going to kind of wrap that whole calendar up with then a serious kind of collaboration of a joint presentation of the Kwanzaa celebration. So not only are we doing something for the December of this year, but that is promising to be a much larger kind of celebration, inclusive of many cultures, because it stands for family, culture, and heritage. So that's kind of a brief overview of what our proposal is out there. We're looking for potential sponsors and people that have resources and have an interest in what we're doing to be able to contact us. Give them a number, Antionette, for those who want to reach you, and I'll provide a number.
For the Afua Culture, it's 718 655 5369.
Let's give it to them one more time.
718 655 5369.
Okay. And if you want to reach the Avatar Foundation, it's 914 664 7970. Again, 914 664 7970. And you can find this information on the avatarfoundation.org website. So it's important to kind of stay abreast with us and send us your remarks and your comments and we're going to be looking very forward to working with you and presenting and asking you to support this fantastic venue that we're a series of venues that we're proposing to present. As we kind of wrap up our show, I want to kind of thank you for being here. Again, as usual, we meet often, so we see one another often, but it's good to be able to share that with our community. And I want to just mention that this particular show will be seen on Cablevision as well as Verizon every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. It's the Cablevision channel 76 and Verizon channel 45. For those who are on the Time Warner system, if you will, we are on every Wednesday at 8 o'clock to be seen throughout that network, Channel 18 in Mount Vernon in particular. We also ask you to kind of listen into our radio show, Avatar Connection. We're on WVOX.com and WVOXFM.com, so that we are on HD2, so you can kind of check in with us and see us as we broadcast our show. We're on the air every second Friday of the month from 12 to 1 p.m. Be sure to pay us a visit. What else do we have to kind of share here? We want to be able to look at this particular show on the media, on the Media Center, I believe it's called, on their website. On the website, Community Media, that's what it is, communitymedia.org, where you will see then, look for the Avatar Foundation or Face to Face, and begin to see a series of these programs that we will be recording on a regular basis. So each week, look forward to a new show. So we're on at 8:30 again on channel 76 and 45. Thank you.